Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Daily Bitcoin Technical Analysis. Today is October 19th, 2025, and looks like we got a little bit of a up little bump there on a little rise on the price. So let's zoom in here now on the weekly. We're going to just take a little quick look. It looks like on the KDJ we had this nice bottom here. Then we were talking about this cross here recently in the past videos, and now it's possible that we may get a little uptrend from here. Um, so let's zoom in now. First the MACD here is still red. Um, this will have to change before next week. So let's look at the daily here. The daily is really giving me some good indicators for some next few days of positive trading. We may get a bit of an uptrend here, and we can see a couple of signs here on, and once I clear this up here, I'll discuss that. So the first sign I'm seeing is the MACD. We've discussed this in the past couple videos that when the color changes from the dark red to the light red, we know that the volume now is going from sell volume to positive buy volume. So not as many sellers, more buyers in these two volume candles, which represents these two last days of trading. So if the trend continues in the positive trend, we should see this cross possibly happen. So we got a positive on our MACD. Now, if we look on our KDJ, it is getting ready to do a cross here. So that is the next thing we're going to be watching for. As soon as today's candle closes, we should see, as long as today stays positive and green, then we should see this cross be completed, which would give us the next positive sign for some more uptrend. And then you also have on the RSI a nice little dip being picked up here, and that could give this cross a possibility in the next couple days. So we got some positive signs here, but where do we go then if we're going up? Well, we got to look at some resistance. So if we zoom in to the 270, remember actually on the 15. So if you've watched my video from yesterday on the 15-minute time frame, I was looking at this squeeze and I discussed how what this squeeze is. So if you wanna get a little more info on what I was talking about, you can watch that yesterday. Um, it's around near the end of the video, I think, is when I start talking about this. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. Um, but what I was discussing was how this squeeze will be determining, it usually says that there's going to be a trend reversal or change, and we got a trend reversal. So we got a little dip here, but then the buyers kicked in and support got picked up. So that's given us the last 24 hours a nice rise in our price. So that's really nice to see here. We got a nice rise in the price, really strengthening our downtrend, honestly. So if we're going to be looking for some targets for the next little bit, let's pull up our VRVP and we'll open that up. And if you watched one of my previous videos, I do discuss how to set this up. I will create a video just on this indicator once I get into my indicator educational videos. Trend lines is coming up. I've just been working on it. I've been planning out what I'm putting in it and everything, so I've been taking a little longer because it's my first video, but after that I'll get into a routine of dropping those. So on the VRVP, we see that the we see the line at 111.3. We know that there was lots of trading along that line. So that's going to become a resistance when we zoom out a little bit to the 240. Now we get this bigger picture. Actually, that's not giving us a good picture at all. Let's go into maybe the 30-minute. So sometimes you got to play around with the time frames and really get what you want, because you don't want all that excess information being processed in here. So this all matters. Like I said, I'll discuss this in another video. So we got that coming up right around there. So I'm thinking about so about 111.5 to about maybe here 113,000, peak at 113.5 possibly, and then continue our downtrend. And so what I'll show you what that looks like real quick before we move on. Let's go on the 270. It's easier to draw on and see. So basically, for the next day or two, we will be watching that daily candle, of course, and we will see if that daily candle closes positive from today, and then that should shoot us into the next region. And we should start seeing some resistance along this line. So I think we have from here, from the white line on the VRVP to about here, which is about 113,000, which we can see was some resistances, right? And this trend line coming across here really gives us an indication that it may push through this line and come up and then hit resistance and come back down. And that will continue our trend down, because we will not so if we do this, we need to come back down and at least retest this bottom. And if we pull that away and we use a horizontal ray and come in here and grab that bottom, we could see that it was 103.5. So 103.5 is going to be a retesting area that we need to come back down to eventually in order to complete this whole system. Okay? And that's where I'm going to leave today's video off. It's going to be just a short one. We will be back again tomorrow, and we will be analyzing the next trend. So I'm expecting now, hopefully after another day or two, we will really get a nice picture to see whether we'll be dropping again. Will we be going back up? Because we also have been discussing that this trend may still be on the upside, right? And what I think is possibly going to happen is we're going to get this to break down, but then we're going to come up. Okay, so 96,000 and then back up. That's what I'm starting to think is going to happen, and then we're going to break all new highs again, possibly into the 150,000 range. There's a whole bunch of numbers here that we can get into, but not on the dailies. We don't get into that stuff in the daily videos. We'll get into that stuff maybe when I start making some different series. But that's it for today. That is what we're going to be watching, and I hope that this helps you, see some direction in where the trading is going in the long term. So that is what these videos are all about. We're going to see what the long-term pictures are, and we do this every day. We repeat this cycle every day to give us the same overall picture with the new information we got from the last 24 hours. So I'll see you tomorrow. If you stuck around to the end, I want to thank you very much for being here. And please hit that like and subscribe button. That will really help me continue making these videos and encouraging me to try to keep doing what I'm doing here. And if you got anything you want to ask it down in the comments below. And you can always reach out. Maybe you think I'm doing something wrong. Whatever, drop it in the comments. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for sticking around, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.